All right, everybody, we really hope you enjoyed seeing the hospital side of what we do here at New Mexico Wildlife Center. And we're very sad that you folks can't visit us right now with the global pandemic, but we still want to give you a peek into what our education birds do every day. So let's head on inside, shall we? So we're going to start with the two birds that are quite loud. You'll often hear them in the background of our Inside Facebook Lives and our Inside Education videos. Here at the center, we have two black-billed magpies. This is Marcel and Cody over here. They are both human imprints. What that means is people kept them in their homes, and unfortunately these birds don't know how to be wild. So they stay here as educational ambassadors instead. They're the two non-raptor birds that we have at the center, but corvids are known for being very, very smart. Okay, so we've already met a couple of our birds, but we have over 20 birds that live at the center, but the rest of them live outside. So let's go head that way. And it looks like we have a special guest. This is Pancho. So this is Pancho, our American Kestrel, being handled by one of our amazing volunteers, Susan. Now, American Kestrels, though small birds, are very fierce. Pancho weighs in at about 90 grams, but they've been known to go after other animals many times their size. They are in the Falcon family. We're gonna meet a couple of other falcons today as well. Of the raptorial or birds of prey that we're going to meet along the trail. This is CIBOLA. She's another one of our quite loud residents. You'll often hear her again in the backgrounds of our education videos. She came to us with a shoulder injury, so unfortunately she is not able to survive in the wild because she's not an acrobatic enough flyer. We actually don't know very much about northern goshawks in the wild. They're very secretive and they tend to nest in really deep old growth forests. But what we do know about these birds is they are ferocious. They will defend their territory and their young with ferocity. And CIBOLA definitely has a very ferocious personality. So the next bird we are meeting is MORENO. MORENO is a golden eagle. These are some of the largest birds of prey native to North America. They look very similar to bald eagles. They're just a lot bigger and they have that really pretty gold color on the back of their neck. That's where they get their name from. MORENO arrived here in 1998 as an adult. So we don't fully know how old he is, but unfortunately he's got a wing and an eye injury. So another bird that unfortunately cannot survive in the wild, so he stays with us. This is one of two of our red-tailed hawks that live at New Mexico Wildlife Center. This is SIENNA. She is with us because, as you can see, if she turns her head, her left eye is missing. She came to us with an eye injury. We attempted to correct it surgically, but unfortunately it just didn't take. These birds hunt via vision, so it's really important that they can be able to see in order to hunt in the wild. We're gonna meet CINDER in just a couple minutes here, and you'll see how varied these birds can be in their coloration because they're so widespread across the United States. Our next bird is LUPE. LUPE is a Harris's hawk. Now these hawks are really unusual in that they will live and hunt in groups. These birds are really, really intelligent, so they're often very popular at centers like this because they adapt really well to being education birds. LUPE arrived here in 1992. Prior to being with us, she was a falconry bird and then a breeding bird. But she was done with those things and has been enjoying her retirement with us. This beautiful bird is CINDER. CINDER is our other red-tailed hawk, and you can see that she looks a lot different than SIENNA. She's much darker, and that's where she gets the name CINDER from. She's been with us since 2018. She's a relatively new addition to our family. And she was found on the side of the road locally. She'd sustained a pretty serious head injury, and we determined that she is blind in her left eye. Being visual birds, again, it would mean that she would not survive very well in the wild. And when she was found on the side of the road, she was very, very thin. So it was obvious that she had already not been doing very well. Cinder's been doing really great with us though. She's got a couple of people that she absolutely adores and handle her really often in, and she does really great with them. So this is Oscar. Oscar is one of our 2 great-horned owls, and she arrived here in the 1980s. She's older than most of the human education team. The great-horned owls are another bird like red-tailed hawks that are very common throughout the United States, but again will show a lot of color variation. These birds are surprisingly powerful and very varied in what they will consume in the wild. They have been known to hunt skunks, and the large reason for that is these birds don't have any sense of smell. Most birds of prey do not. What that means is skunks are pretty easy prey for these birds. Another one of our owls. This is Manchado. He is our Mexican spotted owl, and he's another one of our older residents. He arrived in 1998, again with a head injury. He is totally blind in his left eye, and for owls which hunt at night, again, it is very important for them to have good vision, but also good hearing. These birds, spotted owls in particular, are known for being endangered throughout the United States. So Manchado has a really important job of teaching people the importance of proper forest management and how important these birds are for the forest as well. Alrighty, we are coming upon another one of our quite loud residents. This is BUBO. BUBO is our other great-horned owl, and you can see there that she's got her tennis ball in her talon. She loves that tennis ball. BUBO is with us because she is a human imprint as well. So she doesn't understand how to be an owl in the wild and wouldn't survive, so she acts as an educational ambassador. BUBO is one of our most powerful residents, though she only clocks in at a couple pounds. Great-horned owls have been known to have a grip strength of upwards of 500 pounds per square inch. Your average human adult male can do about 100 pounds. So that gives you an idea of while she is small, she is mighty. So this is the last owl we're going to be meeting today. This is CORAZON. We call her Cora for short. And she gets that name for that beautiful heart-shaped facial disc of feathers around her face. Being an owl, they predominantly hunt at night, so that disc of feathers around their face acts like a satellite dish. It helps to pull sound into their ears. These birds have amazing hearing. They're also incredible hunters. This is nature's mousetrap. A family of barn owls in the wild can eat thousands of mice every single year, so they're a best friend of farmers. So this little cutie is Cricket. Cricket is one of our Swainson's hawks. And these hawks are, again, unusual in the hawk group in that they're highly migratory. Birds like Cricket in the wild will migrate all the way down to Argentina and all the way back into the US twice a year, which is pretty amazing. And Cricket's one of our younger residents. She's just a couple of years old now, and she's still very playful. We love to give her and lots of our other animals different kinds of enrichment. And she really likes to manipulate things with her feet and with her beak. So we give her as many different kinds of things to enjoy every day as possible. This little lady is Alice. Alice is a Cooper's hawk. And these are really common backyard birds. Cooper's hawks and most other accipiters like CIBOLA or goshawk are bird-eating birds. So you'll commonly see these even in urban areas hanging out by bird feeders and bird baths looking out for their next meal. This beautiful bird is OLYMPIA. OLYMPIA is a peregrine falcon. So she is very closely related to PANCHO, our little American kestrel that we met earlier. But you can see she's a lot bigger and has slightly different coloration. These birds are famous in the wild for being some of the fastest animals on the planet. They will go into a stoop or a dive at upwards of 200 miles an hour. Now Olympia, unfortunately, is a bird that cannot be released to the wild because she has a wing injury that prevents her from flying as acrobatically and as powerfully as would be required of her in the wild. So this beautiful, amazing creature is Sol. Sol is a turkey vulture. Now vultures as a group often get a bad reputation for being these really dirty, smelly animals. But in reality, they're some of the most important animals in our ecosystem. They are nature's garbage men. They have an amazing stomach acid, can break down pretty much any disease they come across. They've been known to eat things infected with anthrax and botulism and the plague and rabies, and they don't get sick. They're a little gross and not the prettiest birds in the universe, but they are incredibly important to the ecosystem, keeping it healthy and happy. So this handsome man is Max. Max has been with us since the 90s. He unfortunately has a wing injury that prevents him from going back out to the wild. Now bald eagles are our national symbol, but did you know that it was almost the turkey? These birds in the wild are known for living near rivers and lakes and the ocean, because in the wild they eat a lot of fish, but they'll eat pretty much anything else as well, including waterfowl and small mammals. And the white head and tail on the bald eagle is a sign of sexual maturity. They don't get that until they're about 5 years old. When they're younger, they're actually often mistaken for golden eagles, but bald eagles are a lot smaller than goldens generally. So Electra is with us for a variety of reasons. Osprey are known for nesting in really high places like telephone poles and electrical wire poles. What happened to her is a branch fell into her nest as a young bird. It shocked the nest and it caused it to go up in flames, which then caused her to fall out. So she's unfortunately the victim of electrocution, burns, and head trauma as she fell out of the nest. So she is unfortunately a bird that would very much not be able to survive in the wild. And we adore her even with her loud voice. And we figured that we would of course save the best for last, but I'm a little biased. Durango is my favorite bird here. He's our prairie falcon, and he is our newest addition to our education team. He arrived with us in 2020, so he's the newest kid around the block, and prairie falcons are awesome. They're very closely related to peregrine falcons like Olympia, but they're much better adapted to living in drier environments, more arid environments. So they're really good at catching birds, just like peregrines are, but because there's so much less resources in the wild and in the desert, they'll eat pretty much anything that they can catch. Now, Durango arrived to us from a facility in Utah. He'd been found on a woman's porch, and when she shooed him away, he wouldn't leave. So she took him to a rehab center, and it was determined at that point that he is another human imprint. So he is unable to survive in the wild because he doesn't know how to do it. He wouldn't be able to find food or find mates or be able to defend a territory. We really hoped you enjoyed meeting all of the birds that live on the education side of New Mexico Wildlife Center. And we hope to see you all again very, very soon for a tour in person. So we'll see you next time.